thing because I like, hey, everybody, welcome to Dumb Investing. That fella drinking wine over there, that's Harry.
That guy's Lloyd. I'm on holidays. Well, not that matters because I'm always drinking wine or rum or beer or whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, did I say that guy's Lloyd? Yeah, I did. It's about to get dumb up in here, ladies and gents.
Oh, yeah. All right. So on tonight's show, we're going to review our portfolio that we purchased randomly rolling dice and randomly picking stocks and invested our retirement into. So, yeah, so we'll see how that thing's going. We're going to talk a little bit about the stock market, Christopher Wallen, who's that guy, and why did he crash with stocks today. That's about it. We don't have much else going on. Maybe a little bit of real estate back and forth. And that'll be it. So 21 loyal subscribers, thank you so much. Everybody else, welcome to the Dumbest Investment Channel. All YouTubes, let's check that portfolio out.
All right. So just for a little bit of clarification for those of you viewing, or those of you viewing for the very first time, what we do here, and I think Lloyd probably said it because he always does, but I like to explain it just a little bit. So what we do here, we go and we buy stocks using our hard-earned retirement money. As Lloyd said, what we use is a random stock picker and random dice generator. So we click the random dice generator for the amount of dice that we get. So if we roll a 3, we click the random stock generator 3 times. We then do that 3 times. So we choose a stock or 3 stocks a night. We do a little bit of a deep dive. Let's call it a shallow dive into the fundamentals of the business. When we do that, we then go out and we buy a stock. But that's what we do on the regular show. Right now, we're out of cash, so we can't do that. So we're just going to go through our portfolio and really show you what we've done so far, where these stocks are at, how much we're losing day to day, and or gaining.
In the description down below, there's a link to our spreadsheet. And it'll show you every trade we've ever done, all the stocks we picked, the ones we reviewed, the one we chose that day, what we purchased it for, how much we purchased it for, if we sold it, how much we sold it for, the profit or the loss. Everything is transparent.
Yeah. So let's go take a look at it. All right. So
that is an awful lot of red.
Are the stocks that we own.
Good night.
So what we do is we always go through our losers first, and then we go through our winners because we like to get the losers up out of the way.
So in one day we lost, we were almost even today. Man.
Looks like the banks had a rough go today, and maybe that has something to do with your friend Christopher Wallen there?
Well, I don't think he talked until like the last 45 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah. So this had nothing to do with that then. Fiserv had a horrible day today. They were down 4.66% today. So they took a bit of a bath. And then Bank of America. So banks had a tough day today.
Yeah. Now see where they crashed the last like hour, that's probably where he started talking.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened the first part of the day. There were so many. I think half of the Fortune 500 are reporting this week or something like that. It's crazy. So maybe one of the banks reported and took a winger, and everybody else decided to dive with them.
Okay. Yeah, it could be true. And then over here on the other side, our super high conviction plays, Lazy Boy up 1.64%, and Hailing Education Group up 3.21% today.
What? Why did that one even? Why? Why did that happen?
Heck if I know. I'm on holidays, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm just kidding. I was over working at the rental today, but
hopefully we'll hear something about that.
You might.
So where's old BurgerFi in there?
BurgerFi.
Well, they were red. Everybody's red, right?
Yeah, they're right here. They were down 1% today.
Oh.
Man, look at that. They started out the day so good, too.
I know.
Today. Yeah. They came out of the chute, guns a-blazing. Holy moly. Look at that. Wow. And then reality set in.
My whole portfolio looked like that
Ouch.
today.
Look at what happened right at the close. Ouch. Ouch. So if you'd like to see some ouches on your closings, click the link down below. It's a link to Webull. Deposit yourself $100 and get yourself up to 2 free stocks valued at something in the realm of $2,300.
Yeah, Kevin today said he got a $77 stock or something like that.
I heard that. Yeah, that was
Nice, huh?
yeah.
Well, so what's our overall portfolio? We were down today, right? So we're not down horrible.
Yeah, we were down $11, 0.5% today. And we got some dividends that paid out at the end of the month.
Oh, look at us.
Yeah, we got SPE and GFL dividends. Boom. Look at all those tendies getting cooked up over there. Huh.
Well, good deal.
All right, over in the total portfolio here, doesn't look like much has changed. We've got PSAT still leading the way. We've got First Trust coming up in second place, and down here at the bottom, we've got Lazy Boy and Hailing Education Group still right down there at the bottom, although both of them had a better day today. Maybe today is the last day that maybe it's just going to continue up from here. How about that?
Man, I hope so. I got 13 days to hit my break-even date.
Hey, man, could happen.
It could. It totally could.
Anything's possible.
All right. So today in my personal life, I keep my little ticker thing going next to my desk, right? It started off green, and then it got a little bit more green. Life was great. And I was like, oh, it's a good day. And then I went and did some work and come back, and it's red. And I'm like, what's going on? And I click on the old Chingale there. And Christopher Walken is talking.
Christopher Walken?
No, sorry. My brain was short. Christopher Waller, who is a Fed governor.
So he's on the board. Yeah.
Of the federal directors, right?
Yeah, he hangs out with J Powell.
Right, but J Powell's like the boss.
J Powell's the boss. J Powell's the man.
Well, anyways, Christopher Waller about his opinions. And his opinions are the Fed should taper early and taper quickly and get them rates up. Because our economy's on fire, man. It's on fire. It's doing so good. And right? Yeah, everything went red.
That's one opinion.
But he's got the Fed governor, and it was on the CNBC or whatever. Yeah. Everybody was all talking about it.
I'm not so sure.
So that wasn't.
Our economies are as on fire as people are thinking. It does not feel on fire anymore.
No, I think if you had a used car lot last year, it probably feels on fire. But I don't think
even that's slowing down.
Other people. Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, used car pricing is coming off in a quick hurry. We're seeing, commodity prices come off to, lumber prices have come almost all the way back to pre-pandemic levels. And it was straight up and straight down.
When I was coming home, said that baby cows are real expensive.
Cows.
Meat's going to stay expensive. That's exactly what he said. He said baby cows set a record or something like that. So we can expect this expensive meat for another year or something.
Well, I can tell you one thing. We went to Costco the other day and we picked up a nice little tenderloin log and it was $30 off.
It was on sale.
It was on sale.
For $30 off, was it still $50?
Well, I mean, here it's regular, I don't know, call it $120 or something, and then $30 off.
Good Lord.
$90. But that's cheap for here.
How many meals?
How many steaks?
Get out of that, yeah.
Probably 12.
Oh, that's a lot of steak then. I've never bought whatever you're talking about.
Of tenderloin. So, that's filet mignon steak.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, one of the best cuts of meat that you can get. And it was on sale. Costco had too many.
Yeah, because everybody stopped buying it because we can't afford that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Well,
$30 off though. That's cool.
yeah. So I mean, things are going to come back slowly. I think. I don't think the economy is running away from us as
All
crazy as
right.
we think it is.
All right, Jay. So what's going on here is during the pandemic, we have a group that's working right now, well, starting to retire, called baby boomers. They were the babies that occurred after World War II. And the upper end of them, I think, is around 70 something, and the lower end is in the 60s. And we saw a pandemic when businesses started shutting down and that kind of stuff. During the pandemic, a lot more baby boomers than they thought. So what's going on now is that all these guys they thought were going to come back are like, dude, I got my bass boat. I'm good. I'm going to retire and catch me some fish. I don't need to haul anymore. So there is a shortage. So overall, it is the same disruption that we are seeing at the ports where we could get ships unloaded and stuff like that because workers were calling in sick and things along those lines. So it is the impact. There is an impact for sure. I don't know how played out it is. I deal with a lot of freight in my business. I know for the most part, my incoming stuff, I'm seeing the same guys that I saw last year because we run the same lines. And so we're seeing the same guys that are hauling the same stuff that they've always hauled for us. And we're doing some subcontracting through a broker, and he's freaking out a little bit because he used to broker 1,000 trucks, and he says, I only have 700 now. I've got all these guys retired, and I keep calling, and they're all like, I'm fishing. So yeah, is some disruption that is occurring, but I don't know what the overall impact is going to be yet. For us, it's ordering 3 trucks to go to Arizona, and we get 2 trucks to go to Arizona today and 1 tomorrow. So that's kind of what we've felt.
Yeah, that's fair too. And I think, there's some technology coming down the pipeline, and maybe that will help, with the Tesla semi truck. I don't know what that looks like, and it's probably 5 to 10 years out, maybe. But they're supposed to be start rolling off the line in Giga Texas or Giga Austin, whatever the heck they call it.
Yeah, Giga Austin, I think.
Giga Austin, I think they're supposed to be starting to make them there.
Because we can have multiple gigas in Texas.
And yeah, of course you can. There's lots of room in Texas. So, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be some deflationary factors that come into play over the next 5 to 10 years. That's going to be driving a lot of these. Well, they're going to be backfilling some of these baby boomer positions. And there's certainly going to be probably a lot of immigration that's going to fill in these positions as well. So I know here in Canada, there's been a fair amount of immigrants that have been running trucks. That's been pretty standard for a long time. And yeah, I mean, everything will always find a way. Wherever there's a dollar to make, somebody is going to be willing to step up and make that dollar. So short-term pain, and it's really cyclical. In my line of work as well, we often get truckers calling us, asking if there's any lanes that they can run for us, and then you'll go and you'll be like, yeah, okay, give me a price on this and this and this lane, and then they'll ghost you for 3 weeks, and they'll come back and be like, hey, can I quote those lanes again? It's like, whatever, sure, whatever. Do you have a truck? No. Okay, now I do. Now I've got 200. So it's so feast or famine in that business. It's all sink or swim, and it's just there's no. It's very cyclical, and it's very quick. So I think, yeah, overall, I think there's probably a shortage, but long term, even relatively long term or short term, a year, I think it'll sort itself out relatively quickly.
So
did not read the
Jay,
comment.
your second question, and I assume your first name is Jay, reading your name. We call you Jay from London, so it doesn't matter. So your question is that there's either an agency or department or something like that wants to bring in some non-US drivers. And is that so? That has happened from time to time in a lot of industries. We have visa programs, and I know certain manufacturing companies that are around me that use some of these visa programs that bring in manual labor type guys, and they can bring them in for like 14 months and stuff like that. So you may see there may be certain companies that are used to having 1,000 drivers on the payroll. They're down to 700. They've got job openings, and they're probably saying, "Hey, can we get some I forget what it's called. It's a something 14, if I remember right, a 14 visa, whatever, and bring in 100 guys from wherever and employ them now while we work on the green card and all that other stuff." So it's like a temporary pass to get people in here, and it's been used a lot in the past. And it's so is it a bad thing? I personally, as long as they know how to drive a truck and they understand our laws and stuff like that, I don't think it's a bad thing. If there were people, that's HB 14. If there were people that wanted to do that job and a company was bringing in these people just because it was lower pay, it's a pretty douchey thing to do. But I think in this instance, we have had a whole bunch of these baby boomers that they were running their own trucks. They were doing this thing. A lot of them subcontracted to some of these big freight haulers that had 1,000 trucks, and half of those were owner operators. So it was a dude who bought his own truck. He got paid a little bit more per mile because he was running his own truck, and he's gone and put it for sale, and just he's not coming back. So they're trying to figure out how to do this. So that a lot of used trucks are being bought up right now by these companies because dude's not coming back with his Freightliner. So they're trying to build up their fleet and how they used to.
Yeah, very similar in Canada. We've got a temporary foreign worker policy that the government runs, and when there's a need, there's lots of agencies that are out there that are willing to help bring in temporary foreign workers, and we're able to fill the needs of the economy. So I think, as we often say on this channel, capitalism will always prevail, and people will always find a way to get the job done. And yes, for sure, sometimes it will cost a little bit more, but it will, over time, short term, longer term, depending on how you look at those things, they all really even out and kind of flatten out.
We have a freight company that is on my way home. They have a huge, probably 1 million square foot facility right on the highway when I'm driving home. And they have a huge sign on the side of their building right now that they're hiring forklift operators and package clerks is what they call them, and then truck drivers. And their truck driver pay is between $75,000 and $90,000 a year. And so that's a fairly good living for somebody. And what they're seeing that back in the day, you used to have a lot of families that ran freight. So a dad would have his company, have his truck, and then his son would buy a truck and start hauling with dad, and they were doing this thing as a family. And running a truck, especially like the trucks that I run with your flatbeds and stuff like that, it's hard work. You're out in the heat. You have to move around. You have to strap a lot. It's a lot of hard work. And a lot of people are like, man, I don't do hard work. My buddy does computer work, and I want conditioning and stuff like that. So we don't see as many young people in the fleets as we used to.
For sure. And that's something that we could get into, probably not tonight, but another time, is there's going to be a major labor gap in the next 10 years in terms of the trades.
Yeah.
Framers, electricians, plumbers, drywallers, everything. The manual labor side of things is going to be a big challenge that somebody smarter than us needs to tackle.
Well, I think I have a buddy that runs a air conditioning plumbing business, and he's telling me that for a while they were making good wages was his words, good wages. He said his good guys could pull 75 to 100 a year. And he said that with a couple of his good guys have gone away. And he says that the rates that he's having to charge now to get guys to come into the field, he said that an average plumber today in my region is making 150 a year. Ooh. And he said they're not even that good. He said they're not nearly as good as that guy who didn't come back to work. He goes, right. But if I don't pay him that, they're going to go somewhere else because there's just not that many out there.
Right.
And
so
it's crazy.
So the next question is probably like, how does that add to inflation?
Oh, I love it. There's a good comment from Jay.
Right. Yeah. And you're right.
Correct.
But you know what? You can also go to school for trades, right? So, you can go to trade school and still take a 2-year course and get plumbing and electrician certificates, get your red seals and be certified, and you'll make good money. There's nothing wrong with working in the trades. A lot of the contacts that we have in our industry are tradespeople. That's what we can't do what we do without them.
Yeah.
So, I've got a huge amount of respect for trades, and, especially when you're doing renovations in your own house or another house or whatever it is, when you hire a good tradesperson and they're in your house and they're in and out in, let's say, an hour or 2 hours, which would take you 2 weeks or 3 weeks to accomplish on your own, it's just so eye-opening into the value that they provide. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
So where I was going with that is in terms of inflation. So you have to pay, or you or your buddy or whomever to build a house in your neighborhood now has to pay $150,000 a year for a plumber that's subpar.
Yep.
What does that do to the net revenue of the house? Or does that just mean that your home builders are going to pass along that cost?
Oh, absolutely. Home builders are going to pass along that cost. That's just part of it. Oh, absolutely. If their plumbing costs more, if their shingles cost more, they're going to charge more, right?
They're certainly going to try.
More. Yeah.
But the market will always determine what the selling price of a new house is going to be, regardless of what your costs are.
Correct.
The home buyer doesn't give a crap what it costs you to build that house. If the market says that house is $100,000 and it costs you $650,000 to build it, too bad.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of talk about inflation, and there's going to be a big squeeze on companies' net margins over the next year or two, and they're going to try and pass along a lot of the cost increases that they're going to do, and consumers are going to get fed up. Kind of what we're starting to see in housing now, certainly in our area, is the consumers, and I think housing, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel it. Housing kind of leads the economy in terms of the ebbs and flows. So when people, if they're willing to pay more for their house and they're willing to pay more for their burrito or whatever at Taco Time or Taco Bell or whatever it is that you got, or what is it? Chipotle?
There's that.
Chipotle.
Chick-fil-A is the one that we love down here.
Chick-fil-A. Okay, whatever. That's chicken. But so if they're willing to pay more for the houses, generally they're willing to pay more across the board. What we're starting to see now is there's starting to be some pushback, and we'll start to see housing prices start to bend that curve. Well, maybe we need to go this way. Bend the curve. We're probably at or really close to the top in terms of housing prices, and we might start seeing the backside of this. So that will transition into their everyday life in terms of how much you're willing to spend. So if maybe they don't go out for supper anymore, or they don't go to Chick-fil-A, or they go to whatever the cheaper Chick-fil-A version is, or whatever, right?
Or do you think they will, and I don't want to say this wrong, shortcuts is the wrong way, but like in our region here, you have a builder basic house that has Formica countertops, stuff like that, right? Vinyl flooring, things like that. They started adding all the niceties to bring that price up because everybody wanted granite countertops and the
Absolutely.
stainless, all that kind of jazz. So do you think you're going to, the framing's still going to cost money, the plumber's still going to cost money? Do you think the builder's going to be like, well, we're going to build a lot more basic, so they're going to put a lot more Formica in instead of granite?
100%.
Like that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So a house will come down, but it's a different house.
Yep.
Yeah.
And companies are always going to find a way to cut costs. And, they're only going to build what people are going to pay for. And it's the same at restaurants. It's the same everywhere.
Right.
Maybe you don't get lettuce on your burrito anymore.
Yeah, you could splurge and say, yeah, I want all that stuff. I want stainless steel and granite.
If you want all that's another $100,000.
Yeah.
So, I think I think we're starting to see the end of the tops of the market here. That's just how I feel. But this is only my opinion and not financial advice by any means. Don't listen to anything I say or anything he says.
No.
Solely for entertainment purposes only.
All right. So this week we still have a whole ton of earnings coming out this week. We've got what happens at the end of the week.
Jobs on Friday. Yeah.
So that'll be an indicator because that will be the other half. That's what Powell has been talking about now, right? He's been talking about, hey, we're not going to pay attention to the other stuff. Let's pay attention to unemployment and see what's going on there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because initial jobless claims came out last week, and I think they missed.
They did. They were a little bit higher than they thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, to be determined. But we'll talk about that more later on in the week, and as we get closer, and we'll know a little bit more then.
I know there's a lot of restaurant people freaking out about this Delta variant and whether they're going to just close up permanently now.
There's a lot of people freaking out about the D variant.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. To be determined. Day by day, week by week.
Yep. And we would love some comments down there. We've got to decide what to do with this portfolio. We just sit and look at it every single day. Looking at it ain't doing nothing for us. So we got to start. We got to start flipping something. Do we flip the losers? Do we flip a loser and a winner and break even and hope it gets us 5 out? Because if we can do 5 a week, right, that's making money. But this sitting on the sidelines, man, that's not how I play it. I'd love to hear comments down there.
All right, everyone.
All right.
The voters will decide what we do with our hard-earned money.
Hey, double up on BurgerFi. I'm there. That'll
We
pay off.
already did that. We already did that.
Next week. I say learn charting. Okay, explain that a little bit more.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
I may have to do some homework. Jay's the smart viewer we have.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll
All right.
For his comment here just to see what he says. Maybe you can post it after the show, and we'll go watch. We'll go learn charting.
Well, I think he's telling us that obviously when we did our stock picks that maybe we didn't chart as good as we should have. Boy, what are you doing?
Learn how to pick better stocks?
We can't learn how to pick better stocks. Our dice decide that. We got to learn how to chart those 3 stupid stocks that we pick. What a way to do it. What a way to invest money.
Yeah. Probably the dumbest way you could do it. Oh, watching.
Oh, yeah.
Doing TA. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We can do it, but I don't know if we can do it in the. Yeah.
It doesn't work after hours. I mean, we could probably go and do a TA on it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we could. We could do TA on using Weeple on the stocks. Sure, why not?
Yeah, we can give it a try.
All right, Jay. I like it. I like that idea. I'm gonna go learn charting. I'm gonna draw some lines. You don't like the lines that I draw that just go straight up, Jay? No, this way.
I don't know that that's how that works, but
I want the stock to follow the line. All right.
Have
a great night, everybody.
We gotta end this thing.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Don't trade like that guy.
Definitely no trade like that guy.